Happy holidays, everybody. I am wishing you all the most blessed, joy-filled, peaceful, calm, centered, grounded holiday wishes for you to experience with your family and your friends and within yourself. We're at that time of the year where we're going inward, and yet we have these holiday times that take us outward, and sometimes we don't want to go there. And so just find your path to a very grounded, healing, and joy-filled season. You get to choose. That's what I'm always telling everybody, right? It always comes back to choice, and that leads me to today's blog post that I want to share with you is about choosing love over fear. And fear controls a lot of our decisions. And I want to share with you how that doesn't have to be any longer, and that the fear that you learn, first of all, there's only two fears we're born with, and that's the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And every other fear is learned, and you learn those from your family, from friends, from experiences that you had, and the meaning that you've put on experiences that you felt threatened you. And I want to just make it clear from the beginning, so when I'm talking about fear right now, I'm not talking about that, your life is endangered, right? Or, so you're not being threatened in any way. These are internal beliefs that we've made and feelings that we generate out of our fight or flight, out of stress, out of our conditioning growing up that I'm talking about. So this is not fear that your life is threatened, that you're in total survival, that you're in a situation that's not safe, whether it's war or abusive person in your family. That's real fear, and you need to address those just as well. But I'm talking more about the internal fears that are driving our life. And my whole mission in life, the whole reason I'm doing this, is to stop needless suffering. I don't want any of you to have to suffer any more about the fear that you're not good enough, that you're not lovable, that you're not perfect enough, that you don't deserve to have good things happen in your life. The fear that if you don't take care of other people, you'll be abandoned. The fear that if you don't sacrifice who you are, that people won't like and love you. That's not true. That's not true. These are things that we've learned. And the fear that for you to ask for what you want, to use your voice to speak up in the world, that you'll be taken down, you'll be killed. Even the terror of thinking somebody will kill you for saying what you want. And for some people that's real, right? But for a lot of us, that's not real. But we have a strong feeling of that. And for some of us, it's past life experience where we did use our voice and said things and we were killed, and we remember that in our DNA and in our body, and we're here to heal that. And then so here's something I want to share with you, some steps, and after I share these steps with you, I'll give you some examples so that you can see that these are things that you can do and how it can change your life. And I had a lot of fear. I've had a lot of fear, and I've worked, every client I've worked with, and I would say everybody out there in the universe, we have learned fears, and we have fears that run our lives. And every one of these people I've taken this, I'm giving you a shortcut, but have given these instructions to, and when I take them through that and take myself through that, I'm in a much better place. I'm choosing that love, you know. And so what, I guess first I want to say, what's love, right? Love is really deeply caring. Deeply caring. It's not, it doesn't have, and that deeply caring starts with us, right? If we don't feel that we can deeply care for us and that we're worth it and that we're lovable, then we will never believe that anybody outside of us can love us, can deeply care for us. Because if we can't do that for ourselves, then how can anybody else? Something's wrong. You don't trust that. You won't trust that, right? So I get this a lot with a lot of people. It's like, somebody's loving them and treating them really well, and they don't trust it because of past experiences that has created this fear that something else is going to happen, or they're not going to be in control, or they can't, if they let somebody love them, they could get hurt, right? There's a wide variety of things that come up. I mean, fear is not real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We've, again, whatever we look for in our lives, whether it's real or not, we're going to make it real for us because we're looking for it. And we're creating our reality. So again, love is that deep caring for ourselves and knowing our worthiness and knowing that one thing is that, you are love. You came into this world as love. And how can I say that? Because you are, and science proves this, you are energy, and you are the energy that is Source's energy, God's energy, Buddha's energy, the universal energy. We're all made up of the same thing. And and there is a vibrational energy, a frequency energy, that is this incredible feeling, and we put the word love on it, but it's loving energy. So that we're just labeling it. There's no other way to explain it. But you are that energy coming into this world when you are created, and whether you believe it, that you are lovable or not, or whether you believe that you have that energy or not, that you are part of Source, you don't have to believe it. It just is. You are. And probably I would say, like, an experience where you might have that is when you're like watching a sunset, right? You're watching the sunset, or you're experiencing something in nature where you feel one with it. And it just like, it opens your heart, it expands you. There's a calm, a peace, or you might find it in meditation when you feel one with everything. Everything's lost, all your fears are gone. There's just this wonderful sense of beingness in the moment that is peaceful and calm. And and in some ways I don't even want to put words to it, because it just is, and it's just this incredible place. And you come into the world with that, and you are part of that, and you can connect to that anytime. And so for you to start remembering that, and remembering that you can always tap into that too. So that energy and that frequency is always there for you to tap into. And so one of the things is so when you recognize that you're in fear, so part of it is for you to start noticing when you're in fear. You're not always going to feel that you're like, oh, I'm afraid. But it's when you feel like you're pushing, where you're having to push something, you're wanting to manipulate something, you're wanting somebody to do something in a way that it's, and it feels, really important that they do it, because otherwise you might feel anxious. That's fear, right? You might feel disconnected, alone. You might feel, right? You might, that's fear. We don't feel, if we don't feel supported, we don't feel grounded and steady and supported, right? So there's fear. If you're grasping for people, if you're sacrificing yourself for somebody else, you can't say no. That's one of the things. You can't say no to somebody. No, you're not valuing your time, and you feel like you have to do that, or otherwise they'll get mad at you. That's fear. That's fear. Or they'll leave you, or, codependent relationships are fear-based, right? So it's really important that you start to recognize where your fears are. Sometimes I'll just wake up fearful. I don't know what's there, and I see there's a lot of really old fear in me. Either I took on from my mother, or circumstances that I haven't dealt with the fear, or past life. I know there's stuff that's come through in past life, like speaking, being seen. I'm sure I was probably a witch in a past life and was executed for that or something. And there's other experiences that I've had of speaking up and being harmed because of that. But that's not real today. And that's why I'm learning to speak up and stand out and more, because I'm having to go through those fears that are there, but I know that aren't real today. So number one, recognizing that your fear, and then checking in. Sometimes when I feel the fear, it's like, I've got a roof over my head, I've got food in the cupboard, I have people that love me, I have family, I have support, I'm connected to source. And then so once I do that, I'm like, okay, I can let that go. I'm choosing love. And that's what I want you to do is, when you find the fear, right? And when fear comes up, it's just a way for you to recognize that now you can choose love, right? It's just, don't think of it as something that's there to take you down. And your fears can come up as challenges, right? And so your fear as a challenge is really a gift. And look at it as a gift. And then just ask for help, ask the universe, okay, source, here's this challenge that's here, and I'm asking for help to get through this challenge. And so in an asking, and so you're asking your guides, your angels, who and then you can even go beyond that. It's just recognizing, hey, I'm love. Came into this world with love. I'm connected to source. I'm not separate from anybody. I have guides, angels, sources, support, and so recognizing and asking for help, support me, lead me the way, send me some answers, and you allowing yourself to receive those answers. And a lot of times too, the question I might ask and put out there is, how can I love myself even more right now? How can I love myself even more right now? And then I'm quiet, and so source might come in, or I might remember, I'm love, I'm safe, and or I go through that thing, I am support, I have friends. But it's also, so those are the outside things, but also the inside. What's the inside? I am love. I was born good enough. I am worthy. I am lovable. And so it's like, in loving myself might be to be compassionate right now, that I've just been remembering fear. So it might be like, it's all right. You've just been remembering a fear that you're holding in your body. It's all right. You are love. It might be that just to breathe. How can you take care of you? Have you eaten? Do you need some nourishment? Do you need some water? So what you're doing is, so you're asking, how can I love myself even more? And then you're going to apply that, right? So the thing is, like, choosing love. So I can choose love. So I'm going to choose to love myself right here in this moment. And choosing to love myself right here in this moment, um, I'm just going to breathe and recognize that I'm connected to everything, that I am supported, that I have people who love and care for me, and that, I'm a wounded child. I've been through a lot. So, and I'm choosing to love and take care of myself right now. I need a break. I need to go spend some time in nature. I need to play with my pet. I need to put on some nourishing music. So when you choose love, now it's not only choosing it, in your mind, it's choosing to feel it in your body. Because once you can start to feel it in your body, right? Now you're being it. So you're becoming it. So it might be that you choose, as you're going through your head or you're writing in a journal, what you're feeling. Here's the fear. Is it real? I'm going to ask for help. Please help me. Help me see the love in this experience. Help me transform this experience into a loving experience for myself. And then as you start to feel that love internally, and then you might remember how deeply loved you are by others. You remember that you are, remember an experience. If you can't find something on your own right now, you might go back to an experience when you felt really that connection with love in your body. And to just now start feeling that in every cell of your body. And what would help raise that energy even more, right? So it might be that if you're feeling alone and disconnected, but you can feel how much you felt love when you were connected to nature. And then it's like, how can I be even more loving? Might be like, I'd like to share this love. So you might call a friend, or you might send a message to somebody, an email or a text, thinking of you, loving you. I don't know if you guys have always noticed, I always sign everything loving you or love, live, and matter. It's just like I'm always reminded that I'm loving myself, and that's overflowing in me, and I'm loving you. So when you start to be that in your world, it starts to grow, and then when you share it, it grows even more, right? So just finding ways in your daily life to remember to choose love over fear. Put reminders up. And just the more you can keep saying, how can I love myself more right now? What's the fear? Where you can look at that fear and say, how is this fear not true? How's it a lie? And so it's actually telling the truth. It's really bringing out the fear in the lie that you're holding, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not perfect enough, and so you can't have, and that's a lie. So anyway, this is just the beginning, but what a great time to practice it right now. And it's because we're going inward, so to really pay attention to all the things where let your fears, ask that your fears be shown, because they're the thing that's in your way. They're in your way. And that's what's keeping you from being the success that you want to be. That's what's keeping you, love is keeping you not loving yourself and being in the fears is keeping you from finding your partner, your friends, the career that you want, the home that you want, all the things that you want. It's that you're not getting, that you're not ending up with, are being blocked by that part of you that's in fear. So the more that you can be, right, loving, let the love in, let go of the fear, right, pull those fear weeds and let the love come in, then you are going to love yourself, right? What's going to happen is like all the things that you're really desiring is going to start coming in, and that's love. Now you're getting proof of the love. So you're getting your reality is proving your fears. So we want to shift it around. So your reality of love is proving your love, and that becomes your reality. So so like I said, it's, I have a client that's looking for her partner, right? So she's looking for a partner, but it's her fears that she's not good enough, she's not lovable, she's not, and her fear that he's not out there, it'll never happen. It's like she's getting too old, all the different fears that are, so those are like running in her and keeping her from pursuing, getting out and being her really creative, juicy self. Instead, she's meek and kind of hiding and so the guy that she's wanting, that would want her true, brilliant, juicy, messy self, can't see her, doesn't see her. And she's not shining her light. And so once I work with her, right, to see, like, here's all your fears, and here's how these fears are showing up in how you're being in the world, and this is blocking you from having what it is, meeting this person, and then allowing it to grow, right? Because when sometimes that what happens is the guy comes into her life, right? And then she doesn't believe it's happening because she keeps going back, bumping back and forth between the fear and the love, kind of letting it in, then not believing it can happen, and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then, so then it pushes him away. And this is the same thing that happens with money, boom and bust. Yeah, I can have it. This is what I want. And then, oh, I don't deserve it, or I'm not working really hard. I'm in the flow. So it's like, oh, I don't deserve this unless I'm suffering, right? Boom and bust with money. And it's also success with your business. You can't stand, all your fears are like, oh my God, what's going to happen if I'm successful? And all these things. I won't have my privacy. I won't have any time for myself or my family. I'll sacrifice myself, I'm going to burn out. And so those are just some of the fears. There's huge amounts of fears, and add on top of that relationships and money inside of a business. You've got a lot of fears that are running your business. And so you let go of those fears and keep choosing the love. All of a sudden you're in the flow, and when you start to do it over time, then you really are seeing and feeling and knowing, uppercase knowing, that you are love. And that you are creating from there. And when you create from there, there isn't all the sacrifices. There isn't the burnout. There isn't the fears. There's really just this beautiful flow of love, and you living on purpose, creating what it is that you like. So I hope this helps. And I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to share some of your fears. And if you don't want to share publicly under the comments, you can email me, you can text, what do I want to say? IM me on Facebook. Anyway, all my information's, you can call me and get a discovery session, and I'll help you reveal what your fears are, because so you can actually see how you're being blocked from having what it is that you want and loving yourself. And love starts with you, and success starts with you, and peace starts with you, right? And feeling safe starts with you. And so I honor the love and the brilliant, juicy mess that you are. And I invite you to love that too. Until we meet next time, Marilyn O'Malley at MarilynO'Malley.com. Love, live, and matter. Loving you. Happy holidays.